Amazon has reprogrammed the search algorithm to favor their own products and why that should bother you.
Xbox, Twitter, Uber,
Postmates,
Netflix, MoviePass,
Google,
Facebook, eBay,
DoorDash,
Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin, the Apptrepreneur, and people should really be more concerned about monopolies. It's actually a really fascinating thing. I have lived long enough to see monopolies go from this thing that were hated. Everybody knew the dangers of a monopoly because there was really only one monopoly that we're really familiar with, and that was Walmart. And Walmart became a hated monopoly for very obvious reasons. Because when they came into town, they put businesses out of business, small mom and pop shops out of business. They just wiped them clean. And most of us knew owners of mom and pop businesses that lost their jobs because of Walmart. And then they couldn't get another job, or because they had run their own business for so long that some of them ended up working for Walmart. And they would get a lot less money as a result of that, usually with no benefits. So people used to really hate monopolies because the few that we had were very intrusive. Not only Walmart, but Microsoft. I mean, heck, let's take a look at this real quick. United States versus Microsoft Corp. People forget about this, but United States versus Microsoft Corporation was a noted American antitrust law case in which the U.S. government accused Microsoft of illegally maintaining its monopoly position in the PC market, primarily through the legal and technical restrictions it put on the abilities of PC manufacturers and users to uninstall Internet Explorer and use other programs such as Netscape and Java. At trial, the district court ruled that Microsoft's actions constituted unlawful monopolization under Section 2 of the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890, and the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit affirmed most of the district court's judgments. The plaintiffs alleged that Microsoft had abused monopoly power on Intel-based personal computers and its handling of operating system and web browser integration. The issue central to the case was whether Microsoft was allowed to bundle its flagship Internet Explorer web browser software with its Windows operating system. Bundling them is alleged to have been responsible for Microsoft's victory in the browser wars, as every Windows user had a copy of IE. And by the way, you might be asking, well, why would that matter? Here's something many of you don't remember. When Netscape and Prodigy and AOL and stuff came out, you paid for browsers. Browsers were something you paid for, particularly Netflix. And because Microsoft bundled the Internet Explorer for free, who's going to pay for something that you can get for free? Now, some of you might be saying at this point, well, they're a private company, they can do that. I don't see what the big issue is. I mean, Apple puts their own stuff on their devices all the time. Yeah, we're kind of going to get to that. But maybe you can see the problem because Internet Explorer kind of sucked, to be honest. It kind of sucked. And I'm using Edge. I mean, Edge is admittingly a lot better than Internet Explorer. But yeah, I'm using Edge just because I'm too lazy to change the settings. Actually, there's another reason for that, but I won't get into that here. So anyway, yeah, this case was a big deal when I was younger. And people said, yeah, go after Microsoft. They can't be a monopoly. And yet when you read this case, it actually almost doesn't seem like a big deal. Microsoft bundled a browser with their operating system. I mean, heck, Apple does that. I mean, and granted, you can now definitely put your own browsers. I think the other issue is that you couldn't uninstall Internet Explorer, and yeah, it made it very difficult. So, that was considered anti-competitive. And yet, people have no issues with monopolies now. I mean, when you buy an Apple product, you have to go through their ecosystem. When you go on Facebook, I mean, heck, you don't have multiple social networks out there. I mean, MySpace is still kind of around, but it's not the same thing. It's a music thing now. And Google Plus, we killed that off. Minds, I guess you can go to Minds. In fact, most people who get banned on Twitter end up going to Minds. But then Minds is being attacked by like PayPal and stuff, like having their funding cut off because they're not Twitter and Amazon. These companies control way too much, and people seem to be oddly okay with that. And then you get stories like this. Amazon changed search algorithms in ways that boost its own products. So and it says right here, the e-commerce giant overcame internal dissent from engineers and lawyers, people familiar with the move say. So here's what's going on. And Oh, apparently you have to sign in to read the whole story. Well, great, that messes up the video. All right, well, that was that was funny. I guess that will teach me to actually check to make sure the article is readable before I get on camera again. But here, let's look at this from Gizmodo instead, where Amazon reportedly changed its algorithm to favor most profitable products, including its own. Despite internal opposition, Amazon has changed its search algorithms to prioritize listings that translate into bigger profits for the company, including its own private label goods, according to a Wall Street Journal exclusive. Citing sources from Amazon's A9 search team and the company's lawyers, the Wall Street Journal report claims Amazon tweaked the search algorithm from showing the most relevant products to featured ones. The change was not publicized and was initially contested by Amazon's internal lawyers, who said it could potentially cause trouble with antitrust regulators. It was also unpopular with the A9 team, as it was thought to put profitability over what's best for Amazon's customers. While the tweak wouldn't necessarily boost only Amazon products, which is what their legal argument will be, by the way, it would likely give a bump to the tech giant's private label brands, as they are designed to be more profitable for Amazon. Now, here's what the problem is. In all of online sales, Amazon accounted for 50% of them last Christmas, and that's a huge number. And I know people, you know people, heck, you might be one of these people who, when you talk about all these different things you get, they just reply, I just get everything from Amazon. Like that's a badge of honor. It's like people who only drink Starbucks. I only drink coffee at Starbucks. I only buy things at Amazon. And what's the result of that? Well, if all you do is you drink at Starbucks, you're not very discerning about price, so you're going to get gouged on coffee that should cost you $1, maybe $2. When you only buy from Amazon, you give them power to, well, now let's take a look at Amazon real quick. I don't go to this website very often. Let's kind of look to see how this would play out. Let's, what does Amazon make? Let's say batteries. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, you've got Energizer here, Amazon Energizer, more Amazon Energizer, Amazon. These are car batteries, so they're different. Amazon, there's Duracell, there's Energizer again, there's Amazon Basics. A lot of Amazon products. And as you can see, they're all either best sellers and of course, Amazon's choice. Amazon's choice for batteries. Of course, it's going to be Amazon's choice. You might notice that there's some Energizer batteries up here. Well, these are also ads. These are ads, so Energizer is paying to be there. Let's look something else, like notepads. Look, you have Amazon, then you have some tops here, but of course the Amazon ones, that's Amazon's choice. And the best seller here for these cards, Amazon Basics. Here's an Amazon Basics classic lined notebook, Amazon Basics chisel tip. So you get down a little bit, and then you have some staples and tops and stuff like that. Let's try one more thing. I'm trying to think what else? Pens. Just pens. Let's just look for pens. Okay, so you have paper matte. A bestseller is a Pilot G2. Okay, so far things are looking good. Amazon doesn't seem to be intruding there. So, but here's some more Amazon Basics, and then once you get past a certain point, and by the way, most of the Amazon products are cheaper than the regular products because, of course they are. So here's the problem. Who's for you to say, like really objectively, that this isn't the best choice? Amazon controls the placement, they control the brands. They are doing everything they can to push their stuff over the competitors. I mean, if you type in ebook, just ebook, obviously the Amazon Kindle comes up first. Actually, let's narrow this down a little bit more. Ebook reader. Yep, there's all the Amazon devices. They have a Wattpad, although I think that's an app. I don't see any. Well, there's a Kobo Forma, so there's that. Do I see any Nooks here? No, I do not. Sorry about the background noise if you can hear that. There's a Sony Reader Pocket Edition, $35. I mean, heck, $35. It's probably worth giving a shot. Buried all the way down there. Now, I'm also curious. Is there a way, like, there's no sort by... You can have sort by featured. What about low to high? What's it look like then? Well, there's a Walmec new model ebook reader, so that's definitely there. Otherwise, they've got, you know... Here, look. Here's a couple Kindles that are more expensive than that Sony book. Like, the algorithm is always going to be tweaked to run in Amazon's favor. And this is what people need to understand. You know, it's going to be impossible for Amazon to put every single website out of business. But, like, they're at 50%. I mean, how on earth is that not a monopoly at this point? And you go to their site. It's convenient. And Amazon sets the rules. They set the rules. They say, hey, we're going to push our stuff. I mean, if your stuff isn't our stuff, we're going to push you down. Like, that's the thing. This is why the Paramount decree with movie theaters was made. Because at one time, Hollywood made the movies, they had the ad campaign, and they owned the theaters. That created monopolies, and it could drive traffic when you had... Like, I'm starting to wonder at one point, like, when do they step in for, like, the apps? Because... You know, the Disney Plus, the Netflix, that all seems like monopolies themselves. It's like, I don't think it should be where if you make the product, you should also be allowed to... Here's the thing. You can either have the platform to sell a bunch of stuff from competitors, or you can have like a personal website and sell your personal product. It doesn't seem like it should be both. So, anyway, let's get back to this Gizmodo report. So... According to a report, Amazon's retail team pressured 89 engineers to favor Amazon's private label products for years, arguing that they should receive preferential treatment in search results. Their logic was that grocery store chains and drugstores put their own products right next to national brands in store. When retail team executives were met with concerns about directly adding a profitability metric, they then looked for more roundabout variables that could act as proxies for profit in the algorithm. I mean, yeah, that is true. That is true. Supermarkets do put their own product in more favorable spots. But the thing is, it's actually kind of it's an apples to oranges comparison, really, when you get down to it. Because when you go to a grocery store and you want cereal, for example, you might have a specific brand in mind. Or you might even just walk through the whole aisle. You don't go in looking for the Safeway brand cereal. You don't go in looking for the Safeway brand, you know, cola. They put them next to the brands that you know as a way to entice you, but your brand is still there. What's different about a search engine, again, I searched, and let's turn this back to featured, because that's where it gets really... I just searched ebook reader, and look, they pushed all of the Amazon Kindle books. I mean, if you're like a Kobo or a Books, or, God forbid, a Nook, you have no chance of selling on Amazon, or very little chance. You type in a tablet. I mean, the number one tablet in the world is the iPad. The iPad is the best-selling tablet of all time. It's the one most people prefer. After that, the Surface is really popular because of its productivity. But what's Amazon's choice? Their choice is the Fire HD 8 tablet. Also, the Fire 7 Kids Kindle Edition. Then you go down and you have another Amazon Fire. You have quite a few Amazons before you start getting to the Androids. You might notice there's no iPad here. There's no iPad here. And there's no Surface. There are some Galaxies, which are pretty common. There's finally the Apple iPad. This is a previous model, though, and you can only buy it used. Or, well, it says new, so I guess there's a new offer. But realistically, the iPads and the Surfaces and the Galaxies should be at the top. Those are far more popular than the Kindle tablets by a wide margin. But Amazon controls the traffic. That's the problem. You know, you type in, hey, you just need batteries. Just need batteries. and look, there's a bunch of Amazon products, and you're not going to scroll too far. You're just going to go like, okay, why not? Here's the Amazon's choice. That works for me. Whereas if you're in the store, you would look at the brand, you would look at the price, they'd be all there. Some of them you might pick up because they're a little prettier in the package, who knows? But you have that choice. This is Amazon definitely abusing their power. This is them controlling the market way too much. And I don't know if there's actually going to be something that happens here. By the way, it says here Amazon also told Gizmodo that private label products only account for 1% of its total sales, and argue that the number is much higher for other retailers with private label brands, which, you know, it's interesting because they never actually prove that by backing it up. But regardless, the news caused Amazon stocks to take a bit of a tumble this morning. According to Bloomberg, shares fell 1.9% to $1,804. The news comes at a time when the tech giants are all under greater antitrust scrutiny from regulators. Just last Friday, House lawmakers requested Amazon executives, along with the honchos over Google, Apple, and Facebook, hand over their personal communications to see whether the companies are engaging in anti-competitive behavior. Meanwhile, Amazon is also facing an antitrust probe in the EU over its treatment of third-party merchants, alleging that it is abusing its dual role as a seller of its own products and a marketplace operator. Yeah, by the way, that's another way that they hurt you. They look at the third-party sellers, and when they see certain items of third-party sellers selling particularly well, they then stock up on that item and they sell at a cheaper price. So, you know, yeah, Amazon is not your friend. I mean, they might be if you just want to buy things, but no, they're not your friend. They are absolutely anti-competitive. They are evil. You really should not support them. My personal opinion, of course, for whatever the heck that is worth. And we will leave that there. So anyway, what do all of you folks think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon exclusive blog. And if you want more content from me that's not, well, related to this for the most part, check out my other channels, Kevin T. Rodriguez, the Apptrepreneur Vlogs, and Autograph Hound. And finally, if you want to talk to me or other fellow rideshare drivers or e-commerce people, whatever, you know, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.